week I tried an experiment, and I think it's one that you could try too. It doesn't take very long. But think of a topic and Google it, and then read the top 3 to 5 articles on that topic that just pop up, the very first ones that pop up. What are you going to find? Well, here's kind of some things that I found. You should drink 8 to 10 ounces of water, glasses a day. Well, you don't necessarily need to drink water. It can be any kind of liquid, as long as you get half your body weight in fluid every day. Juice is better than soda. Juice is no different than soda. Exercise at least 30 minutes a day. Exercise no more than 4 to 5 times a week. Pornography addiction is a real thing. Pornography addiction it doesn't exist. It's not a true addiction. Contradictions. Well, which ones are right? Which facts do you believe? I found myself, as I was reading some of this stuff, just getting confused. But here's the thing, what you believe about any topic or activity or choice comes from your life influences. Now, over the last month, I've studied and shared about various influences in our life. Our parents, our family of origin, friends, siblings, children, media, your religious beliefs, even your lifestyle. But why does influence matter? And if it was an influence from long ago, does it even pertain today? What's the big deal with influence? Well, when we pursue what's important to us. When I was growing up, my dad told me that we have time to accomplish anything that we want to do because we make it important. Well, it's quite simple, really, if you think about that. And I've been thinking about my dad's comment a lot this last month, because we do make space. We create space, we use resources and time for those things that are important to us. Let me give you an example. For most of my life, I have struggled with weight issues. I wanted to be trim and healthy. Now notice I didn't say thin, I said trim. And I struggled because I believed that because I had been born with some health issues and because I had struggled all my life, I believed that that's just the way life was going to be. And I believed that I could not control my weight. Well, I began to pray about this. This was several years ago. I began to pray about it. And I prayed about a real specific health issue. Well, unknown to me, my children and my husband were also praying about it. And God did perform a miracle in a very specific way in my body with a health issue. But the weight issue is a daily choice. I choose what I put into my mouth. I choose whether or not I'm going to exercise. I choose whether I'm going to overeat or eat things that I know don't make me feel good or are not healthy for my body. So if you want to make a change in your life, there are some things that are going to have to be cut off. You're going to have to change some of your past behaviors, maybe even some relationships, definitely some habits and preferences. And if you don't change, if you follow those usual influences, nothing's going to happen. But when you do make the choice, when you decide, and the root word of that word decide is to cut off. If you cut off some of the things that you know are negative influences, then you will begin to change. So, why is this important? Well, because we act on our beliefs. Our influences shape our belief. Whatever we allow into our life as an influence, we act on. So if you want to move beyond where you are today, you have to surround yourself with people who teach, challenge, and encourage you to pursue your dream. That's using your influence positively. Now, conversely, you can fill your days with negative news, people who lost their ability to dream beyond what they can see right now, and it drags you down. It keeps you where you are. And sometimes when you want to make those changes, those people that you've allowed to be influences in your life actually get angry with you. And that, if you're a people pleaser like I struggle with, that can stop you in your tracks. It becomes an obstacle. So if you believe something but your actions don't bear it out, then I think you need to look at your influences, because remember, we act on what we believe. The third thing I want to point out is that we become like our influencers. A few weeks ago, I shared with you the Jim Rohn quote in the Kirsten Samuel version that is that you become like the 5 people you hang out with the most. Okay? So as you look at the people that you hang out with the most, or maybe it's not people, maybe it's and it's a book, or maybe it's the television or media or whatever. Who are the top 5 influences in your life? The good news is, if you're not satisfied with who you are today, you get to change. You get to decide who you want to be and make the changes. And it's not as hard as you think, but you do need to take time to evaluate your influencers. What do you need to, and there's 3 words we're going to talk about today: restrict, eliminate, and pursue. And here's a simple exercise that you can do. Just grab a piece of paper and make a column on it that says current influencers. And then write down everything and everyone that influences your life. This is not just people. This is books you read, your lifestyle choices, media influence, your religious lifestyle or lack thereof, whatever. Just write down your influencers. And now remember, this is just for you. You're not going to share this with anyone unless you choose to. But if you truly want to change today, you're going to have to evaluate where you are. We can't change what we haven't acknowledged. Next to each item, I want you to jot down the word, or just jot down the first letter: restrict, eliminate, or pursue. So it's just real fast. Now, in your second column on the paper, I want you to title that desired influencers. And on this side, you're going to list those influencers that you believe are going to help you become the person that you want to be to achieve your desired results. So you've done this exercise, and I know you haven't had time to do it right now, but when you finish this exercise, it's not enough to do the exercise. You need to act. So what are the next steps a next step that you can take today to change the people or the influencers that are in your life, or manage them? So look at that column. Look at those that you marked eliminate. Is everyone that you marked eliminate, is that realistic? Is that true? Why or not? Why not? Can you truly eliminate that influencer from your life? And if you can't, can you at least restrict it? And how are you going to do that? So just jot down some ideas next to those influencers. Maybe you just quickly mark down eliminate on an influencer and they actually just need to be restricted. Change it now. So what about those that you marked restricted? Look at those again. Do they belong in that category where you do need to restrict that influence on your life? Maybe one of those needs to be eliminated. If so, just draw a line through it. Now review those and jot down an idea next to each influencer about how you're going to restrict their influence in your life. Now let's look at those influencers that you marked pursue. Those are the fun ones. This is the list that you want to focus on. And why did you put that influence on the list as something to be pursued? Be real specific about this. Then, if you're looking at it and you're saying, I don't know why I wrote pursue by that, again, move it to either restricted or eliminated. This is your life. You get to decide. So if it's a person that you want to pursue because you see something in them that you want to learn, that you want to grow from, how do you do that? If it's someone you don't personally know yet, do they have a social media account that you could follow? Have they written any books? You could go over to any bookstore or Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, iTunes, whatever, and download a copy of their book or buy a copy of their book, read it, and then take the next step, which would be to write them an honest review. Trust me, as an author, those reviews mean a lot. You could comment on their blogs. Do they have a blog? Do they have a podcast? Listen to it, make a comment, start engaging with them. And tell them what they have written or what you've listened to them, whether it's a TED Talk or something else, and how that has influenced your life, but more importantly, how it has changed your life. What did they write or say that created a positive influence in your life and you have made a life change? And perhaps they're going to be speaking at a conference that sounds interesting to you. Well, see if you can make plans to attend that conference. And then if they're leading a breakout session, you've got an even greater opportunity to attend their breakout session and hopefully connect with them at the end of the breakout session, or at least engage with them in conversation during that breakout session. You know, sometimes our positive sources of influence are written. Well, if you know about it, pick it up and read it. Study it. What do you learn from it? Learn all you can, but here's the kicker. You need to apply it. Knowledge just puffs up, as the Bible tells us. It's the application that actually changes our life. Now, there's an interesting definition of the word know between the Greek language and the Hebrew language. In the Greek language, know means, yep, I've read it or I've heard it. Okay? So I know it. I'm familiar with it. The Hebrew language means I have actually applied it to my life. It's an intimate knowing. It's like the relationship between a husband and his wife. It's this knowing that goes beyond simply I've heard it or I've read it. It means I'm acting upon it. If you have addiction or pain in your marriage, you've got struggles going on, and you need to evaluate every one of the influences on you in your marriage. This is really important if you're trying to heal, if you need to move beyond this pain. You've got to look at the influences. You've got to name them. You can do the same exercise that we just did. Is it something that you need to eliminate, restrict, or pursue? If it's causing harm in your marriage, you know the answer. You need to eliminate it. Well, what if your problem is you don't have any positive influences in your marriage and you feel isolated? This is a warning sign. And you need to start identifying those positive relationships to pursue and take action upon them. When Dave and I went through the horrible pain of our addiction and depression, I wondered why God allowed it. But you know what he did during that time was he drew me closer to himself. And as he began the healing, he has also taught Dave and me various lessons. And now we have the opportunity to talk with others and encourage them that this does not have to continue. You get to change. You get to make the change in the influencers that are in your life. So as you evaluate these influencers in your life and in your marriage, you can choose today to overcome. You can rewrite what's coming in the future. It doesn't have to be the way it currently is. If you're not sure how to do that, please reach out for help. You can go over to my website, KirstenDSamuel.com. Kirsten is spelled Kirsten, D as in Diane, Samuel, Samuel.com. There's a lot of free resources over there. You can also click that big blue button, which sets up a free consultation with me, where I can help you start to identify maybe how do we change some of the negative influencers and add some positive ones. Remember, you can choose to overcome today, and I hope you will. Until next time.